There is an animal that can rewind its own age over and over again. Another that shrugs off outer space, boiling water, and radiation that would kill you thousands of times over. One tiny shrimp even creates a bubble so hot it glows like the surface of the sun. These are not movie monsters or superhero inventions. They are real creatures alive on Earth right now. Stay until number 1, because that animal might be the closest thing we have to biological immortality. We are used to thinking of humans as the most advanced life on the planet. But evolution has quietly been running insane experiments for hundreds of millions of years. The result is a hidden roster of animals that bend the rules of biology, ignore pain, regrow body parts, and laugh in the face of death. Here are 10 real animals that seem to break evolution itself. 10. The platypus. The platypus looks like it was designed by a committee that never met. It has the bill of a duck, the tail of a beaver, and the feet of an otter. It lays eggs like a reptile, but feeds milk to its young like a mammal. And the males hide venomous spurs on their back legs that can deliver excruciating pain. Facts: found only in eastern Australia and Tasmania. One of the few mammals that lay eggs uses electroreceptors in its bill to hunt underwater. Males have venomous ankle spurs used in fights. Its glowing fur is visible under ultraviolet light. 9. The axolotl. The axolotl spends its entire life looking like a baby. Most amphibians metamorphose into adults, but the axolotl keeps its juvenile gills, its fish-like tail, and its cute, wide smile forever. Instead of growing up, it invested everything into one unbelievable ability. It can regrow almost any part of its body, including legs, tail, spine, and even parts of its brain. Facts: native to high-altitude lakes around Mexico City, can regenerate limbs without leaving scars. Often used in scientific research on regeneration. Critically endangered in the wild due to habitat loss. Captive bred axolotls now exist in many color varieties. 8. The bombardier beetle. This small beetle carries a literal chemical weapon in its abdomen. When threatened, it mixes 2 separate chemicals inside a tiny reaction chamber. The mixture instantly boils, building pressure until it explodes out of the beetle's rear as a scalding spray. The blast comes in rapid pulses, making a popping sound like mini gunfire as predators back away in shock. Facts: found on almost every continent on Earth. Spray can reach temperatures near the boiling point of water. Can aim its chemical jet in different directions. Uses separate storage for reactants to avoid self-damage. Inspired research into safer chemical mixing systems. 7. The pistol shrimp. The pistol shrimp carries a gun on its arm. One of its claws is oversized and latches shut with incredible speed, collapsing a tiny bubble in the water. That collapsing bubble creates a shockwave louder than a rock concert and hot enough to briefly glow. The blast can stun or kill small fish and crack open shells, all from a creature barely the length of your finger. Facts: also called snapping shrimp. In many regions sound produced can reach over 180 decibels. Lives in coral reefs, mangroves, and seagrass beds. Some species share burrows with goby fish partners. Large colonies can interfere with underwater microphones. 6. The mantis shrimp. The mantis shrimp does not look very special at first glance. But hidden inside its colorful body are 2 of the most extreme weapons and senses in the animal kingdom. Its club-like arms punch with such speed they create cavitation bubbles that add a second impact after the first. At the same time, its eyes see colors and polarized light far beyond what humans can even imagine. Facts: strikes can reach speeds comparable to a bullet. Can break aquarium glass with repeated blows. Eyes contain up to 16 different color receptors. Uses polarized vision for hunting and communication. Lives in burrows on tropical and subtropical seafloors. 5. The mimic octopus. In a murky Indonesian bay, an octopus glides over the sand, then suddenly becomes something else. Its body flattens, arms trail behind, and it flows across the bottom like a venomous flatfish. Moments later, it pulls its arms together, strikes its body, and swims like a deadly sea snake with writhing heads. This is the mimic octopus, a master impersonator that can copy the shapes and movements of multiple dangerous found in shallow muddy waters of Southeast Asia, first scientifically described only in the 1990s, known to mimic lionfish, sea snakes, and flatfish. 4. The wood frog. Every winter in the forests of North America, the wood frog does something that should kill it. As temperatures drop, ice crystals begin forming inside its body, freezing up to half of its water. Its heart stops beating. Its blood stops flowing. Its brain activity nearly flatlines. Months later, when spring warmth returns, the frog simply thaws out and hops away as if nothing happened. Lives across Alaska, Canada, and the northern United States uses special sugars to protect its cells from ice damage, can survive being frozen solid for weeks at a time, one of the few vertebrates that naturally freeze and revive. Scientists study its tricks for potential human organ preservation. 3. The naked mole rat. This wrinkled, nearly hairless rodent looks like something that should not have survived a single generation. Yet naked mole rats form huge underground colonies with a queen, workers, and soldiers, more like insects than mammals. They feel almost no pain from acid or chili-like chemicals, and can survive with very little oxygen for long periods. Most incredibly, they almost never develop cancer, even after decades of life. Native to dry grasslands of East Africa, colonies can contain dozens to hundreds of individuals. Only the queen breeds, similar to bees and ants, live 10 times longer than similar-sized rodents. 2. The tardigrade. Under a microscope, the tardigrade looks like a tiny 8-legged bear made of rubber. It shuffles slowly through droplets of water, nibbling on moss and algae, living a quiet microscopic life. But when conditions turn deadly, it pulls in its legs, curls into a dry husk, and shuts almost everything down. In this state, it can survive outer space, crushing pressures, radiation, freezing, boiling, and decades without water. Also called water bears or moss piglets, can survive complete dehydration by entering a tun state, found from deep oceans to mountain tops around the world. 1. The immortal jellyfish. Most animals follow one path: they are born, they grow up, they age, and then they die. The immortal jellyfish refuses to play by those rules. When its body is damaged, starved, or stressed, it can transform its adult cells back into a juvenile stage. It literally rewinds its own life cycle, turning back into a baby polyp and starting again, potentially over and over without aging. Scientific name is Turritopsis donii. Originally discovered in the Mediterranean Sea, can repeat its life cycle reversal multiple times in lab tests. Each reset avoids the usual cellular damage of aging. You have just met 10 animals that stretch the limits of what life on Earth can do. From the platypus that mixes venom, eggs, and milk, to the tardigrade that shrugs off outer space, these creatures show how strange evolution can really get. At the top of the list, the immortal jellyfish does something that feels almost impossible, turning adulthood back into childhood and dodging aging in a way we still do not fully understand. Which of these animals blew your mind the most? Would you rather have the axolotl's power to regrow body parts, the wood frog's ability to freeze and come back, or the naked mole rat's resistance to cancer and aging? Do you think humans will ever copy any of these powers for ourselves? And which other unbelievable creatures should we cover in a future video? If you enjoyed this journey into evolution's strangest experiments, like this video and subscribe for more hidden wonders of our world. Next time, we will explore real parasites and symbiotes that turn animals into zombies, puppets, and living factories.